You might face one or several of these three problems at the moment. Problem 1, you're working from home and you're lacking discipline and don't get things done. Psychology behind that phenomenon is pretty simple. Once you enter your office environment, your brain receives the signal, switch to productivity, you are at work now. Once you get home, the environment gives your brain the signal, relax, calm down, you're at home. So you need to send also at home the right signals to your brain now. Problem 2, priorities that seem to be clear previously aren't that clear anymore. You still might have something to do for your job, but now you might also have to take care of other things such as how can I protect myself? Where do I get all the necessary items from just in case I will have to stay at home for quite a while? How do I keep my kids busy? Which help does my family, especially my parents and grandparents, need? How can I help others? Lots of things to do. Where do I start? Which are the first things to do? Problem 3, maybe your workload has been reduced considerably, or you don't have to do anything at all. Now you are bored and looking for something meaningful to do. I think Kanban can offer you a basic solution for each of the three problems. Join me in this video and I explain you how and why. So let's get to action and build a Kanban board. For all Kanban experts among you, I know that this is not a complete Kanban system, but a simple board design will do for this situation. I want to make this as simple as possible, and it shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes to build up your own Kanban board. Step 1 would be to build up this basic board structure. Okay, done. Step 2 is to collect all you want to do or all you have to do. Try to really capture everything you want to do and always keep some post-its at hand in case more things come to your mind later. From a psychological point of view, this is a very important step. You don't want your brain to constantly being busy with not forgetting important stuff. That would just limit focus and capacity of your brain. If you liberate your brain from such tasks, you get to a much more productive state of mind. Put all these sticky notes now in the options column. Please note that it is called options column. You do not have to do everything that's in that column. Things there are just options. By the way, if you don't have post-its, just use regular paper with some tape. Then you choose these post-its from the options column that you want to do today and put them in the next column. From now on, you want to repeat that every morning. Always pull that number of stickies into your workflow that you absolutely want to do today and think carefully what really is important. You also can reward yourself a little bit by picking always one item that is not absolutely necessary but fun to do. That keeps you motivated. But wait, we will put a limit here. I symbolize this limit by putting here a post-it that says 4. That means that in this column can be a maximum of 4 post-its. Now you might say, I can easily do 10 tasks per day. Well, in case you run out of work today, you just pull on one more sticky note into your workflow, not several ones. Do not make the mistake of pulling too much work into the workflow. In our case, more than 4 stickies. Here are the 2 reasons why you should act like that. The first one has to do with psychology again. Getting all the planned work done and pulling additional work is really motivating. Not being able to finish all the planned work gives you a bad feeling, not having achieved your goals. You should not go to bed with that kind of feeling. The second reason has to do with productivity. We want to get things done. If we start too much work at a time, we won't get anything done. In other words, stop starting, start finishing. The next column is doing. I would limit that column to 1 or maximum 2 tasks. Again, the idea is to finish work before you start new work. Below that, we have a field that says waiting. Why do we need that field? Well, sometimes you have to wait for the input of others. You might have started a new task by writing an email to somebody requesting information. Now you have to wait until that person answers. All these stickies that are waiting, in Kanban we call them external dependencies, also have a WIP limit as well. Why? If you do not also limit the WIP in that field, your Kanban board will become a huge mess and lots of notes will pile up here. What can you do to prevent that situation? 2 recommendations. Do not pull work of which you know from the beginning that it can't be done at the moment due to the fact that you need others that aren't available. That does not make sense at all. The second recommendation is to work actively on moving the stickies from waiting again to doing. Call people, remind them, offer them help, do whatever might be useful to have these stickies flowing again. The last one is the done column. Here you put all stickies that you have finished completely. How does that Kanban board now solve our problems? The first problem was the lack of discipline. If you know exactly what you want to do today, if you have visualized that work, it will be much easier to get going. Clear goal setting is the first step to manage your day efficiently. The second problem was a lack of prioritization. What's the next most important thing to do? If you have a visual image of all the possible tasks, and if you mark the very urgent ones and the ones with a fixed date, it should be much easier to know what's the next thing to do. The third problem was about finding meaningful stuff to do. Well, first of all, try to see this crisis as an opportunity. Isaac Newton withdrew in 1665 to the countryside because of the Great Plague of London. In that isolation, he made some of his most important findings. Try not to put short-term tasks only in your options column. Think especially about those tasks that have to do with personal development and growth, with learning, with expanding your abilities, with developing new products or services, building up new processes or systems, or creating content. Think also of things such as learning a language, learning yoga or meditation. Take advantage of the slack you have now and leave this crisis strengthened. Strengthened with regard to your mental and intellectual abilities, but also strengthened with regard to your business model or your source of income. And by the way, you just learned 2 of the most powerful tools of Kanban: the visualization of work and the limitation of parallel work, the WIP limits. And you also might want to add a third Kanban practice now. Start playing and experimenting with your board. Make changes and observe their impact on your productivity. Stay safe and at home, wash your hands, and don't put others in danger.